Hey there, I'm John.
And I'm Josh.
And we are going to be talking about Week 5 of the 2018 college football season. And initially, the first feeling you might get when you look at this week's lineup is sort of ho-hum. But then as you get into it and you start looking, particularly in the West, I would say, you start running into some games that are like, this will be really interesting to see what happens with this. Let's start off with one that's not going to be interesting. And that's Syracuse at number 3, Clemson.
Syracuse is obviously going to win this one big.
Yeah, Syracuse, they're undefeated going into this, and well, no, they're going to get green.
I will say,
green. You don't think so?
I think it'll be about a 14-point game.
Mm.
I think Clemson wins by 14.
Wow, I think that's generous. Meaning...
generous towards Syracuse,
yes. Yeah. Okay, then we have number 12, West Virginia. So Will Greer, Heisman candidate. And he's
phenomenal quarterback.
He is. And they're going to be at number 25, Texas Tech. Texas Tech's only number 25 just because of this past game that they pulled out of the hat and won.
Yeah. West Virginia wins.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind that they come in here and smoke. Honestly, I could see West Virginia going undefeated and making it into the playoffs. So, I could see them beating Oklahoma. So
this one for Texas Tech was, congratulations, you made it in the top 25. See you later.
That's
all right.
Yeah.
Then you have Pittsburgh is going to play number 13, UCF. Mm-hmm. Once again, this is UCF.
All right, so this game I'm going to try a little bit of reverse psychology.
Okay, good.
Because so far, every single week, I've come in and I've been like, oh, this is my upset. UCF's losing. UCF wins big. They're going to come into this.
I think I agree.
And they're going to destroy Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay, wait. Reverse psychology.
No doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I got to be thinking about
UCF wins big. They're going to make it to the national championship. Go Knights.
Yeah. No, they won't make it to the national championship, but they'll still be crowned national champions.
Exactly.
Once again. All right. And then you have Florida, who's lackluster so far this season.
I mean, they did just destroy Tennessee, like the worst team in the SEC.
Okay, yeah. There we go. And they're going to be playing number 23, Mississippi State, who is super disappointed after this past week.
That's fair.
And so they'll be licking their wounds.
Absolutely.
After playing that powerful Kentucky Wildcats, and I still think that they're going to beat Florida pretty badly.
Oh, absolutely. I think Mississippi State wins this one pretty handily. I would probably 17 points or more.
Yeah. And then you have number 4, Ohio State. Now things are starting to get interesting.
Absolutely.
So Big Ten.
This is absolutely huge of a game.
Oh, it is. It is huge for the Big Ten. Number 4, Ohio State. They're going to be playing number 9, Penn State. So the two states face.
I would honestly say this game is probably the biggest game up to this point in college football, just because I believe one of these teams is making it to the playoffs. And most of the games in the past have been like, well, probably not. But this is both of these teams are actual.
My question for you though is this: does Penn State have a chance?
Absolutely, I think Penn State has a chance. I said TCU had a chance against Ohio State. We saw how that went, but I honestly think Penn State is by far a better team all around. And I think because they have more of a NFL style, like run forward, I formation type, offense and stuff like that, like more of a run, Ohio State will have more difficulty stopping that because they're more used to the kind of just lob it up there, fast paced, like just constant offenses.
Well, Penn State's going to pound.
That being said, I do think Ohio State wins this.
Oh, wow. Okay. Woo! Yeah, you took a long trip.
Yeah, no, I do think Ohio State wins.
Okay. All right. Then you have number 7, Stanford's playing number 8, Notre Dame. And so this is I just have big questions about both of these teams.
Absolutely.
And so, after Stanford struggled against Oregon this past week, they're going to come in here, and what's it going to look like?
Because of that, I kind of lean towards Notre Dame and think that they're going to win this game, but I honestly think this will be super close either way.
Yeah. Well, should be interesting if I stay up that late for it. All right, and then you'll have Ole Miss at number 5, LSU, and
I think this is another one of those games that we're interested just because Alabama played Ole Miss and destroyed them. Can LSU? Can Ole Miss compete with LSU? A bunch of those a bunch of the teams that have played Alabama, it's also interesting when they play like another top 10 program just to see if
sort of like the Clemson, Texas A&M, and then last week Alabama against Texas A&M.
Right, and I will say that's a horrible judgment of comparing teams and stuff because that's not college football's weird.
It is weird.
One team
How
can
one
go
team
in
plays another team
and beat Virginia Tech,
absolutely,
and then lose all the rest of their games probably for the season.
Yeah. And just like Auburn last year, I mean, they got beat by LSU, and then they come in and beat Alabama.
Exactly.
So,
And then Alabama wins the national title,
That's
so it
right.
doesn't matter.
Nope. All right, so let's talk about upsets this week. You're having a struggle with
it's definitely been a rough
here.
start.
What are you,
I'm 2-7.
2-7
I believe.
here. Okay.
All right. So the one I'm more confident about, I will go with first, and that's Virginia Tech at Duke. And I say confident,
All right, so
with the taste of
Virginia Tech's out of the top 25 after getting beat by Old Dominion last week, and then Duke's number 22.
Right.
And so you're thinking
Virginia Tech does this every single year. They lose to some absolute crap team that they should not lose to. Obviously, Old Dominion's a lot worse than the typical team they lose to.
Yeah.
That being said, I've seen Virginia Tech play. I know their defense does not usually allow a quarterback to throw willy-nilly on them. I've seen the way they play. Their offense, I've always said that they have a pretty horrible offense. But, defensively, I honestly think they stay in this game and beat Duke in the fourth quarter.
Okay. All right.
And then my other game is a ranked matchup, which is why we didn't mention it earlier. It's number 20 BYU at 11 Washington. I love Chris Peterson. I love what he's done at Washington. I've watched Washington play in the Auburn game. I've just seen BYU, and they just seem to have this flair, this excitement about them right now, where they honestly think they have something going for them.
Okay, after everything you were saying there, I thought you were saying that number 11 Washington was going to win, but you're not saying that.
No, I'm saying BYU's the magic that they have behind them right now. I think it's going to at least keep them going for a little bit more, and they'll be able to beat number 11 Washington.
Wow. Okay. Well, interesting upsets. So that's week 5, and that's what we're expecting. And so it should be an exciting week. Looking forward to it. And so join us again next week. But thanks a lot, and we will see you.